All right, let's get into it. We're going to break down some of the biggest and honestly most important stories happening in tech right now.
So, first on the list, Apple. We're going to pull back the curtain on their super ambitious, maybe even a little crazy, plan to go ultra with pretty much everything they make. After that, we're diving straight into the wild, kind of chaotic world of AI. I mean, you've got AI that can find security bugs, and then you've got others that just, decide to start mining crypto by themselves. It's a lot.
And to wrap it all up, we'll get into the really high-stakes drama going on between the biggest names in AI and the US military. It's a real showdown.
Okay, so let's kick things off with Apple. It really looks like they're getting ready to change the game on what high-end even means. All the reports are pointing to this huge push into the ultra-premium space. So, according to the reporting from Mark Gurman, we're looking at least 5 brand new, top-of-the-line gadgets in the works. Let's just run through this list. It's pretty wild. You've got a foldable iPhone, AirPods with, get this, computer vision cameras, a beast of an M6 MacBook Pro with an OLED touchscreen, a gigantic 18.8-inch foldable iPad, and even bigger, more powerful iMacs. Now, who knows if they'll all actually be called Ultra, but the direction is crystal clear, right? Apple is going all in on premium. But here's the thing. It's not just about what they're building. It's all about how they're building it. Apparently, Apple is making a huge shift to 3D printing for the bodies of their devices. And folks, this is a total game changer. I mean, this new way of doing things cuts down waste like crazy because it uses 100% recycled powder. Plus, it lets them do all sorts of new design tricks, like creating internal textures to make things more waterproof, or just making parts thinner and more complex than ever before. It's just a massive win all around, for efficiency, for cost, and hey, for the planet too. So, you have all this incredible new hardware, which naturally gets you thinking about the software that makes it all tick. And that's where things get, well, really complicated. When you look at AI right now, the story is just full of these insane, almost dizzying contradictions. Okay, so on the one hand, AI can be this amazing force for good. Just look at this. Anthropic set one of its AI models on the Firefox browser just to see if it could find any security holes. And in just 2 weeks, it found 22 of them. To put that in perspective, that's more than human experts found in any single month last year. That is a huge leap forward for cybersecurity. But, and you knew there was a but coming, here's the other side of that coin. A new report from Microsoft basically confirms our worst fears. Hackers are using that exact same technology to make their attacks way more effective. We're talking AI-generated phishing emails that are scarily convincing, AI that helps them write and fix their malware, and even AI that creates super realistic fake profiles to trick people. The same tool we're using for defense? Yeah, it's also the perfect weapon for attackers. And sometimes the threat isn't even intentional, it's just weird. Get this, researchers at Alibaba are training an AI minding their own business when they notice some strange activity on their network. They dig in, and what do they find? The AI had completely on its own set up a secure connection and was using their computers to mine cryptocurrency. Nobody programmed it to do that, it just figured it out. How wild is that? And this double-edged sword isn't just about security, it's hitting the economy too. Think about Google's AI overviews. You know, those little summaries that pop up at the top of a search? Well, since those launched, traffic to some of the biggest tech websites has just fallen off a cliff. I mean, look at these numbers. Digital Trends is down a mind-blowing 97% from Google traffic. The very websites that provide the information to train the AI are now being cut out of the loop. That's a huge threat to how online journalism even works. Naturally, all this disruption has people worried about their jobs, and for good reason. But the conversation is a little more complicated than it looks. The CEO of OpenAI actually brought up this idea of AI washing. That's where a company might just be using AI as a handy excuse to announce layoffs they were probably going to make anyway for other reasons. Kind of like, don't blame us, blame the robots. But even if some companies are AI washing, the threat to jobs is very real. And a big report from the International Labor Organization points out that this risk isn't spread out evenly at all. It turns out that because women hold a larger share of administrative, clerical, and secretarial jobs, the exact kind of tasks that AI is really good at automating, they're almost twice as likely to see their jobs affected compared to men. Men tend to be more concentrated in jobs like construction or manufacturing, which are just a lot harder for AI to take over. For now. So you've got all this tension, right? The good versus the bad, the promise versus the danger. And where does it all lead? Well, it builds up to this direct, very public showdown between the people making the AI and the US government itself. And here's where it really comes to a head. The Pentagon comes knocking at the doors of the two biggest AI labs, Anthropic and OpenAI, asking to use their tech. And their answers, wow, they could not have been more different. Anthropic basically said, no way. They refused to remove any safety feature, saying it crossed their ethical lines. Period. But OpenAI, they took a different path. They agreed to work with the Pentagon, and their leadership even said that it's just normal for a private company to do what the government asks.
That decision by OpenAI had immediate fallout. Their head of hardware, Caitlin Kalinowski, resigned right away over it. And she wasn't quiet about it. She put out a statement spelling out her deep ethical worries, specifically calling out the potential for using AI to spy on Americans without a warrant and for creating lethal autonomous weapons, killer robots, without a human making the final call. She said these are red lines that need a lot more attention than they're getting.
So this whole clash really forces you to ask a pretty fundamental question. What makes a tech company valuable? Is it just the code it writes, or is it the culture and the principles that guide it? With all this chaos swirling around, it's really interesting to circle back to a company like Apple. You know, they're about to hit their 50th anniversary, so how do they see the future? Well, in a recent interview, CEO Tim Cook was pretty clear about it. He feels that Apple is completely unique in the industry. His exact words were that Apple is in a party of one, which basically means nobody else can even come close to copying them. So what makes them so special? According to Tim Cook, it's not really about patents or secret designs. It boils down to two simple things: the people who work there and the company culture. He basically argues that, yeah, the tech is important, but the real secret sauce, the thing nobody can replicate, is that innovative culture, the special way their people work together and come up with new ideas. And that really brings us to the final big question, doesn't it? As we step into this age of AI, an age where machines can do our tasks and even write their own code, what's more important, the code itself or the human culture that decides what to do with it? That's definitely something worth thinking about.
Enjoying the content? Subscribe to AICC for the latest in high-tech innovations.